Good morning. Just and I'll be going live on Facebook as well. So day 5. Good morning, everyone. Today is day 5 of the Champs at Word Problems Challenge, and it's actually the last day. So, oops, so thanks for that little glip there. But today is the last day of um, Champs at Word Problems, and we have been through a lot so far. So, remember, day 1, we went over the language of math and how to translate between verbal expressions into algebraic expressions and equations. We, in day 2, we went over reading comprehension and how we can really get into what the problem is asking us, just trying to understand what's going on in the situation by reading it, rereading it, thinking about it, what's going on, and then rewriting it in our own words. So that was the day 2 challenge and worksheet that you were sent in your email if you have signed up. If not, you can still sign up and get all the days um, in a daily succession. And then day 3 was scavenger hunt. Yeah, day 3 was scavenger hunt. And we went on a scavenger hunt within the word problem, trying to see what we can find that will give us information for us to solve the problem. So we wanted to find numbers that in their definitions. We wanted to find unknowns and variables. We wanted to find the operations that we need to use based on the verbal expressions, how they translate to algebraic, and how we can use those to give us an idea of what um, operations we need to use, and separate parts. So sometimes questions are broken down into parts and you can easily see it. Sometimes you can't easily see it, and it looks like one part, but you have a few things to do within that one part. So we were able to break all of that down so that we can be prepared to actually solve the problem the next day, which was day 4, yesterday. Let me share in my group. Forgot to do that. And I'm actually going live on my Facebook page today instead of my Facebook profile because um, some people were saying that they couldn't see me. Sorry about the barking. And one more time. All right, all shared up. So I just went through all of the um, days and all of the tasks that we had to do per day. And now, what we're going to do on the last day is create our own. We have all the tools that we need. Now, we're just going to take that and go backwards. Okay? So, I have an outline behind this. I have an outline on this page which talks about, oops, it's supposed to be day 5, which talks about um, how we can make our own word problems. All right. Now, why is it important to make our own word problems? What's the significance of that? Well, when we create something, or when we have to teach somebody else how to do something, that solidifies mastery of the concept. So, if you created a word problem like we're about to do, you'll be able to actually put everything that you know or everything that you want in the word problem to make it make sense. Like, oh, they got to do this and they got to do that, then they have to use this operation to, get to this solution, so that they can then subtract it from this other thing, and then that's the answer. So you already put that together, so you know what they got to do. And if you had to do it, you would know exactly what to do. If you had to solve it, you would know like what to do. Why? Because you created it. So when you create something, you know the process that it takes. And when you go back and do a different word problem, you'll know that, okay, this is what this person had to go through to create the word problem, because I created one myself. So as I'm doing this word problem that I did not create, I'm more familiar with the process to getting the answer, because I had to start with the answer and work backwards so that I could create it. And that's how that goes. Then, excuse me, the other side of that is actually teaching someone how to do a word problem. So, say you created it and now you have to teach somebody how to do it. That's a whole other arena of understanding and learning and mastery, because you're teaching somebody who does not know how to do it at all, and you do because you created it. Either you do because you created it, or you do because you got the answer already, and you know what steps it took for you to get through the process of getting the answer. So since that's the case, um you are able to share with that person what they need to do and the steps that they need to take. And then the other thing is, you have to break it down so that they can understand it, because they may not be able to grasp, oh, you got to subtract and then you got to divide. Like, they may not get that. So you have to help them to see, oh, this word that says for every, that means you're going to divide, or that means you're going to multiply, depending on what the situation is. This word that says increase, that means you're going to add. So let's get some numbers out of the problem and add it to what we already have. Stuff like that. So when you are doing these things, these creative activities and tasks, and trying to what's the word? Spark something in someone else's brain on how to answer and how to problem solve, then that helps you to problem solve even better. Key. All right. So I'm going to be helping you to create your own. This is the outline that you're going to use. So the first sentence I wrote is: the best way to master something is to teach it or create it. Increase your level of word problem mastery by creating your own and teaching someone else how to solve it. What I just said. So what's the first step? Hey, person who just jumped on. Thank you for watching. Everybody who is watching, thank you. And also, thank you for sharing. So, what is the first step? The first step is to think of a scenario in your life that requires you to use math. So, in the email that I sent, I wrote this, and I also wrote some other explanation of why I want you to create a word problem. We A lot of times we do word problems that we don't even know what the content is. Like, we never experienced some of these activities in the word problem, um, and it's just foreign to us. So it's hard for us to connect to what the situation is in the word problem, and then which makes it hard for us to answer the word problem. So when you create your own, then you're able to make a word problem that's related to your reality, what you go through every day. Okay. And it would be really nice if maybe major math textbooks and teacher organizations allowed students to create word problems that related to them and put them in the textbooks and in the curriculum, and had gave them back to the students. Like, okay, revised them maybe and made it more rigorous, or broke it down into sections and tiers so that they'll be able to, get the challenge that they need in the problem. Because a lot of times kids make stuff so that it's easy, and that they can, easily get it. But we want to challenge our kids. So I think that would be a really cool idea and a really cool thing going on for our students so that they would be more interested in solving word problems. So I'm going to tell you something about what I have what I have in mind at the end of this. So think of a scenario in your life that requires you to use math. Okay. So some examples are cooking, working, saving money, budgeting, paying off debt, traveling, shopping, paying for services, comparing prices when you're setting up a business, time management, health, exercise, and current or historical events, etc. It can go on and on. It can really be anything. Okay, so these are all situations and tasks that we do in our life that can require some math. We can find math um, the situation. Sorry, I had a typo. So number two says visualize yourself doing the activity and try to remember what issues involving numbers have popped up in the past, or what number issues you could potentially encounter. So you want to visualize yourself doing the thing. Visualize yourself shopping. Okay. Um, and shopping and comparing prices can go hand in hand, because maybe you're shopping for a cell phone and you're comparing the price of the cell phones, which would have you go into comparing the um, features of the cell phones, the look of it, the size of it, what it can do for you. Okay, you're comparing, in helping you to see how much money you're going to spend. Are you going to be able to sign up for a monthly plan? Do you have to pay the phone um, straight out, the whole phone? Are you able to put a down payment and then do a monthly plan that'll make your monthly payments cheaper? That's all math. Okay, and that's all math that you need to be thinking about so that you can make the best decision for yourself. All right, so the bullet points under that says you can also bring back to mind a numbers issue that you actually did encounter in the past and turn it into a word problem to finally solve, since now you have the tools to do so. So maybe you did maybe you did buy the wrong phone. Why? How can you figure out if you bought the wrong phone? By doing the math, by saying, oh man, I could have paid a 300 down payment and paid less money per month than I'm paying now. because I didn't put a down payment. That's math. That's math right there. FYI, most day-to-day situations require knowledge of mainly pre-algebra and some algebra. Okay, so really, um, when you're going to be making a word problem, if you're not in like high-level math, like calc, a calculus class or a trig class, even though there are some situations where we use trigonometry, but usually your problems are going to be pre-algebra or algebra, so you don't have to worry about knowing a high level of math to be able to do or create your own word problem. Anything could be turned into a word problem, even plus and minus. Okay? Number three says go through the four components of a word problem from day three's worksheet, scavenger hunt, and use this as an outline to organize and put together the content for the word problem you will create. Okay, I forgot that I should zoom in. All right, cool. Row number three. So, going through going through day three's worksheet and scavenger hunt, the four components. Let's look at those. Parts. These are all components that we want in our word problem because they help us to figure out what's going on. So if we are including that, we're using this as our skeleton or as our um, foundation for creating a word problem, then it should have some good content. To be a rigorous or say pre-algebraic translation guide to place words and phrases into your word problem so that that will require the problem solver to translate. So whoever is solving your problem that you create, um, you want to use words that's going to make them think. Like don't say, oh, 5 minus 3. No, that's not a word problem. That is a algebraic expression because all they're going to say is 2. You can say, um, Karima had 5 pieces of candy and she gave 3 to her little sister. That's the same thing. 5 minus 3. Karima had 5 pieces of candy. She gave 2 to her little sister. Gave is what kind of word? And what actually happened to the amount of pieces of candy that Karima had after she gave 2 to her sister? She had less, right? So gave is a subtraction word. 5 minus 3 equals 2. She has 2 left. I keep getting 2 and 3 mixed up. I meant to say she gave 3 to her little sister so that she had 2 left in her hand. Okay? Five. Get creative and really get into it. Get creative and really get into it. I said that wrong. This is your the this is all your words. These are all your words from your perspective. Show us what you got. Okay? So, remember, these are all your words. This is your perspective, and you should really be proud of what you're about to create because it's something that um, you produced. Anything that we create, we are proud of because we put our all into it, and it really came from how we view things, how we see things, how we think it should be. Um, and I think you should really take pride in it. So, number 6 is a bonus. Number 6, I'm going to say it now because I know I'll forget later. But the question says, are you interested in submitting your word problem to be used in KOG Math Success Academy to improve the diversity? So what is KOG Math Success Academy? Glad you asked. That is my online membership that is going to be launching next week. And actually, what it is a online program to be a source of support, to provide you with um, the study guides that you need, video tutorials, and more live sessions with me to help you get through your math semester, your algebra semester. Sometimes people are studying on their own and they need a support group, a guide, and I can't tutor everybody in the whole world. But with this program, with this online membership, you're able to log in, hop on one of my live sessions, or watch one of my presentations, get some support that you need to um, get through. You can ask some questions if you're on the live session, and I'll be able to answer them right there. Because maybe you're studying, like, oh, I don't really get this, and I'm about to go live. Ask your question when I go live. Situations like that. There will also be other programs and study groups, actual study groups, coaching groups that I'm going to be hosting inside the KOG Math Success Academy. So if that's something that you are interested um, you can go ahead and click this link in the email that you got, or you can send me a message and put Academy in the comments of this video, and I'll send you a way that you can sign up for when we launch. So when you submit your question or submit your word problem that you create, I will use it in my lessons in the KOZ Success Academy, Math Success Academy, because I want to be able to use questions, like I was saying before, I want to be able to use questions that you created that reflect your life, that you can actually get into and say, wow, this is really interesting. I did something like this the other day. Let me see how math can help me to do it better or get a better result. Or let me just see how math is involved in this situation. So that's the feeling I want to create when you see a word problem that reflects your life. So you can submit your original word problem to knowledgeovergrades.net/submit-word-problem for review. And I'll be really happy if you do that, because I would love to see what you guys create. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a word problem, all right, using these steps that we just went over. So what's the first step? Think of a scenario in your life that requires you to use math. So I thought of a scenario a couple minutes ago about buying a phone, right? So I like the idea of comparing prices. I'm always doing that. Why? Because we all always do that. We're always shopping. We're always trying to see, which brand of cornbread mix is better to buy. I know most people buy Jiffy, but we're always trying to compare prices because there's so many different brands out there. So we want to make sure that we're getting the most for our money, the value for our money, and the features that we need. Excuse me. So I'm going to go with that. One second. Okay. So we're comparing prices. And so we did number one. Number two says to visualize yourself doing the activity and remember what issues involving numbers have popped up in the past, or what number issues you could have potentially encountered. Okay. So, and then we're going to go through the four components. So let's see. I think that has a section where I can write down here. Okay, and I'm going to annotate. To have to do that, share screen, and annotate. All right, cool. Okay, so you know that this scenario is um, buying a phone. So comparing prices. Okay, and the situation though we want to get into means we're going to be figuring out what the problem is. So the problem is that you have two phones that you can choose from, right? Let's call phone one. I want to I want to call it a different name than the brands that we already have. Let's call phone one Connect. Our phones are called Connect. So let's call phone one Connect S5. I'm still not being creative. Connect S5. I like the thick. I just label this a little bit more. So phone one Connect S5. Um, I'm gonna do another name because these two phones are going to be like peers, but they are um, of different brands. So we got Connect S5 and I don't know why Universe keeps coming. I have Versal. Okay. Those are my two phone brands, Connect S5 and Universe. And we are going to compare price because we already know the feature. I'm not going to really go into the features because that would take forever in a day. But we want to compare the price plans and see which would be the better buy. Okay. So Connect S5. I'm phone one. What's the plan for P1? Um, plan for P1 says that you can make it down. Okay, so what's the P1 is $857. And you monthly. And then phone two costs $1,000, and you can only make monthly payments. Dollars, and the payments. So, which one is the better buy? Well, based on what you put down on the phone one, that's going to tell you how much you pay per month. And let's say you have the same amount of months to pay the phones off. I'm thinking also. So I don't know. I think $1,000. Let's do let's do 900 and see what happens. Okay, it's coming off the top of my head. I'm doing it with you. Okay, so I might have to go to another screen. So what numbers do we want to include? Well, we already know we have $857 for phone one and $900 for phone two. How many months? We want to include some more numbers. How many months do we want them to pay off the phone? Well, let's see. How long did it take me to pay off my phone? I'm gonna go with 2 years. They have 2 years to pay off their phone. I mean, that's the plan. Plan 2 years. Both phones, and let's go to unknowns. So the unknown would be how much do they pay per month. Um, we need to figure out how much the down payment is for phone one, because that's going to determine how much is left that they can split up throughout the 2 months. I mean, throughout the 2 years per for each month throughout the 2 years. How much is left to split up? Operations, split up. That's a what kind of word? That is a division word. So we know that split up is a division word. We are going to need to use some no, we're not going to need to use subtraction. We're comparing. Operations, we're on operations. Separate parts. So the separate parts would be we need to figure out what the cost is for the whole phone for phone one is per month. We already know what the cost of the phone is, but we want to know how much it costs per month for the phone one and how much it costs per month for phone two, based on paying off the phone in 2 years and making a down payment only on phone one. Okay, so um let's say the phone price for phone one varies every year. So you have to make a down payment of a percentage and not of a specific amount. So let's say they want you to make a down payment of 10% of the phone. Okay, that sounds cool. Down payment is okay. So let's see what that is all going to come to. That's another part that's going to be added to our um our problem. So we got to figure out what 10% of 857 is. Then we'll be able to, yes, we'll need to use subtraction. Then we have to subtract that from 857 and then divide that amount by however many months is in 2 years, 24 months. Okay. All right, cool. This is getting fun. What we're going to do is to the whiteboard and finish writing because we don't have a lot of space. Okay, so we have phone one, which is connect S5 and 50 downs, monthly payments, paying 2 years. Okay. Let me move me up. Um, and universal, a different color that we be able to differentiate what is what. Our math. U X is $100, and you don't have an option for a down payment. You just pay month. I keep messing up monthly. Um, or payments for 2 years. We got it. Let me go back and see. Oh, I don't think I can. All that I switch screens, but this is the information that we had on the other screen, and all right, let's get the answer, and then we're going to formulate the question. So, what does the person have to do? We know that the numbers are 857, and that is the cost of Connect S5. We got the numbers already laid out for unknowns. Okay, in red. Are is 10% of 2 um is 857 minus of 3. How much is left to pay? Down payment after 10%. How much is left to pay? How much is that per month? It's a lot of parts, which is going to create a lot of parts. How much is how much is I'm gonna say CS5 payment. Okay, so that's what we want. We want to know how much the monthly payment is. So we're getting somewhere because also figure out a question that we want to ask. how much is a monthly payment? So that's going to be our question. And then for universal X, how much is the monthly payment per month? Um, monthly payment and per month is the same thing. So for universal X, much is paid? Okay, yay. I think we got all of our questions answered because there's nothing else to do. All right, so I'm going to save this, and then we're going to start calculating so that we know what the answer should be when another person is doing the problem. So one, we calculate because we want to know what the other person should get, and also we want to know if our problem makes sense when we do it out ourselves, because we could just be throwing numbers out there and they aren't even reasonable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to erase this. We have three parts. Sorry. We have three unknowns, four unknowns for Connect S5, and one unknown for Universal X. Okay. Actually, let me just erase this little part and see if I can write in the corner. Okay, so how much is 10% of 857? So how do we figure that out? Well, you can do what's called the percent proportion, 10% of 857. So is and of how much is 10% of 857. So that means that 857 is the total, and percent proportion of this proportion, these values, is over of equals percent over. You may have seen it that way, or you may have seen it part over whole. Either one of those are correct. Um, So for our situation, we have the words is over of, but when we see part over whole, that's the same thing, because part, we want to know what the little part of 857, which is the whole, is 10%. Okay. What reflects. So how much is, that's going to be our X of 857, and then the percent. We know here we cross multiply and divide. So is 100, and then 857 times 10 is, oops, I gotta set that equal to 857 times 10, which is, then we're going to divide by 1. That leaves us with X, and when we divide 100, we basically move it twice to the left. So it starts here, twice to the left, so it's going to be $85.70. So they got to put that much down because that's 10%. That's 10% of 857. That's how much money I had to put down. The next question is, or the next unknown, 857 minus 10% of 857. Okay, let's do that. Let me save this. scratching sound. That's me erasing. I already know it's 70. Okay. It's just for efficiency. Um, 8 857 minus 8570 is 771 dollars and so that is what the answer is to the unknown of number 2. 730. All right. Nice. How much is left to pay after 10% down? Okay, so that's kind of the same question. How much is how much is 857 minus 10% of 857? And then how much is left to pay? Well, they're kind of the same thing, so I was a little redundant with that. But the next question, because we already know that how much is left to pay is the same thing as doing the subtraction, the $771.30. So number 4 says how much is C or connector or connect S5 monthly payment. How much is the monthly payment after we find out how much we is left when we put 10% down? I can leave this because it's a question. It's a different way of seeing what this number means. So I will leave it even though it's a redundant question. Meaning we asked it and answered it. Okay, so we found the what's left is $771.31, and now we want to divide that amount into 2 years worth of monthly payments. Okay, so here's another unknown that we would have to figure out if you didn't know this. Another unknown would be, let me get rid. How how do you do that? Well, you do know that 12 months are in 1 year, so just multiply that by 2. 12 times 2 equal 4 months. Okay, so just got to keep that in mind. 24 months in 2 years, and as we are trying to figure out how much is Connect S5, how much is the monthly payment for Connect S5, we have to divide 771.30 by 24 months. Dividing 4, and this is dollars. Okay, let's do it. I'm just using my calculator. Divided by 24 months, that is going to give us, and so that's the monthly payment for Connect S5. 32.14 cents. Okay. Now we're moving on to Universal X. And we want to just know how much is the monthly payment for Universal X. Well, it's $900, and we're paying it for 2 years. So all we need to do is divide 900 by 24 months, right? Because 2 years is 24 months. So I got to use blue. 9 divided by months equals what? Ooh, 30. Okay. And so, what do we notice? Because our question is, how much is the monthly payment for each phone? So we see that the Connect S5 is $32.14 per month, and the Universal is $37.50 per month. So it looks like the Universal X is more per month. So you have to decide if you want to spend that much more than the $32.14 per month. Now, we can stop there with our question, or we can say, how much more are you going to spend per month? Um, or what's the difference? How can you word that question? How much more are you going to spend per month if you get the more expensive phone? Okay. How much more are you going to spend per month if you get the more expensive phone? So you are first you have to figure out how much you're going to spend per month. Then you're going to have to figure out how much more you're spending per month. Okay, so how much more means that you're using either addition or subtraction. So you can how much more is subtraction, because you're looking at one number and you're looking at another number that's more than it, and you have to find the difference between the two. So for our situation, um, let's use a different color. Green. Um, for our situation, we have 13, and we want to find the difference between that so we can see how much more we're going to be spending if we get the more expensive phone. So 37.5 minus 32.14, you are going to be spending a whopping 6 per month. So you got to make that decision whether you want to spend that. You want to spend $5.36 more or not. Okay, so did a lot of stuff. I wish I had another screen that I could use to write our question. Final question. So let's use this as the first part of the question already written down because I don't have a lot of space. So we got this as the information that can be put into two sentences, right? And then the next part will be dot 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 the question. How much are you spending per month for each phone? How you per month each phone? And then question two is, what is the difference, or how much more will you be spending if you get the more expensive phone? Spending per month. To get this um expensive phone. I don't want to say just expensive. More expensive phone. Question mark. Okay, yay. We made a question. We made a word problem. I like it. And maybe, so here's an idea of why this could be a really realistic question. Because maybe the more expensive phone is a more desirable phone. Maybe everybody has one and you want one too because it has a feature on there that you can connect with your friends like FaceTime. So that may be a something that you're weighing in on to see, is it worth it to get this more expensive phone? Is it worth it to spend the $5.36 more each month so that I can have this feature and connect with my friends? Um, so that's a real life problem that a lot of us deal with. So, congratulations for working through this with me. And this means that you can do this on your own as well. We found the separate parts, we found the important numbers, we found the operations that we're going to need to use and the unknowns. And we just talked it through backwards, did the problem, came out to actually make sense. And then we kind of threw in some reasoning into why a person would want to get a more expensive phone, even though, they're trying to stay in within a budget. That's why they're doing this. If they wasn't trying to stay in a budget, they would just get whatever. They would get the most expensive phone in the world. But we did some math. High five. So thanks so much for sitting through this with me. I think this was one of the longest videos of the 5 days. And I would love for you to join if you have not joined already so that you can get all of the worksheets from each of the days and apply them to your practice as you're doing word problems for school, or if you're a teacher, you can use these with your students and really get them to be comfortable with solving word problems and being able to actually answer the problem fully, because that's a lot of times what happens is our students, they get an answer. Yes, I got an answer. And they think they're done because they made such a great accomplishment of getting an answer. But there's more. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe there's more. So we have to get our students in the practice of doing it full out, completing it, and taking pride in their work. And then empowering them by allowing them to do some creation as well. So join the challenge if you haven't already, and you'll be getting all the days that we've gone over already. You'll be getting them daily until you get the 5th day. And also, if you're interested in the KOG Math Success Academy, that is going to be launching very soon, and you can get on the wait list. I have a webinar coming up, a workshop coming up on the 5 essentials you must master to be successful in algebra. Okay? I know a lot of people are going to college soon, starting college soon. What's it, the 11th? I was actually at a Barnes and Noble, and I saw some students working on some doing homework and stuff at a college right next to a college. So maybe college started already, but it's still the beginning. And knowing the some things, that some essentials you may need to be successful in algebra will be helpful if you come and watch the workshop. So you can type in workshop in the comments of this video, and you can type in academy if you're interested in getting on the wait list for the academy. Okay. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for sitting through this with me and just having fun creating. Have a great day. Bye bye.